I'm hearing you. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Alex, for the brief introduction. And I also thank for an invitation. I hope we will discuss a little bit more about the queuing inventory systems in the view of game theory. So let me start. Okay. Um, so, so this is what actually here in this talk, what we will discuss about the existence of Nash equilibrium of an MM1 queuing inventory system. So I will, I think, so I can give some review first before starting queuing and inventory. So in the research on, so I want to differentiate what is the queuing systems, and if in the queue we have attached into the an inventory, so what are the things will happen, and before, what are the things what the researchers has been done, and these and all it is given in the slide. So the research on queuing systems with attached inventory has captured much attention of researchers over the last 2 decades, and inventory models are studied in detail in Churchman, Akoff, and Arnoff, which is in 1961. Probably I will give all the references in the after this session. And Hartley and Witt in 1963, and Nador in 1963, and also I.Z. Sahin in 1990, and yes, and a number of research papers also were have been studied. But in the first three of these references have a large number of discussed a large number of deterministic models, and they have discussed, and in the book of Sahin, he has discussed stochastic models, um, basically in the inventory mod I mean the inventory models. So we call these models, which are the problems of classical type, and since in all this amount of time required to serve the item is negligible here. So here it has a queue, but and of course in the queue we have attached an inventory, but the service time which took will be negligible. That means it is nothing but a queue. Okay. So in contrast, most of the real life situations need positive amount of time to serve the inventory items. So such cases are referred to as inventory with positive service time. We call actually it is queuing inventory systems, and it may appear that there is no difference between a queue and an inventory with positive service time. So however, this is not the reality. In a queue, we do not speak about the resources for service, and if the customers are available and server is ready to serve, then the service starts. Nevertheless, this is not the case in inventory with positive service time. So server may be available and to serve, and there may be customers waiting to get service. However, inventory may not be available on stock, thus a queue of customers builds up. And even in the case when the lead time is 0, that means the that processing of the item, if it is 0, the above problem can very well arise. And needless to say that in the case of positive lead time, the server may remain idle even when customers are waiting for one of items in the inventory. So this type of actually the notion of inventory with positive service time was first introduced by Sigmund and Simchi Levy. It was published in Annals of Power 1992 with Poisson arrival of demands and arbitrarily distributed service time and exponentially distributed replenishment lead time and etc. And so these are actually it's a classical MM1Q, but with attached inventory, and it has some positive lead time, and of course it has some service time also. So simultaneously at the same time that AZ Melico and Molcano, they were also published a paper which is related to the same concept, which is published in Cybernetics in 1992, but it was not that much popular. But the concept of the Sigmund and Simchi Levy and Melico and Molcano, which are probably same. And among other results, so here in this Melikov's paper, which was introduced positive service time in inventory, thereby analyzing a queuing inventory system. Among other results, they proved that the resulting queuing inventory system is stable if and only if the service rate is higher than the customer arrival rate. And this was followed by large number of research works reported a brief survey of inventory with positive service time, which is given in the paper Krishnamurthy et al. So I am also one of the co-author for this paper. But even though this is not limited, actually after that there are after 2011 up to 2018 there were a lot of papers related to these queuing inventory systems with this different types of analysis. It has been appeared in the several topmost journals. So what in this talk I will concentrate is that I will consider a queuing inventory model, which are analyzed in as a continuous time Markov chain with the help of matrix analytic method. And the speciality of this model is actually we will obtain the steady state distribution of queuing inventory model in product form explicitly under the assumption that no customer joins the system when the inventory level is 0. This is despite the strong correlation between the number of customers joining the system and the inventory level during lead time. So here, so I'm going to consider as an MM1 queuing inventory, and it has some inventory attached. That means a supplier will supply this inventory, and here the replenishment policy is a SQ policy we will follow. And what is the what game problem is involved in this model? That is what I will explain with these pictures. So this picture showing that, see, this is what the classical MM1 queuing inventory. That is what I told you the brief history of the queuing inventory. So here this is a single server, and of course the arrival process which is Poisson. So here these are the arrival process, and the one more assumption what we have done is that if there is so and also here in this queue. Oh, okay, just a minute. You're seeing slide. Okay. Oh, now I'm. It is actually the slide number 7. Now I'm in this slide number 7. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. This mouse is moving. Yeah. 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 It's not a problem. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. I will share. Now it is okay. Oh. I don't, I don't know what it is. Okay. But now this slide is number 6. Slide number 6 is it's saying. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Okay. Just a minute. Okay. Yeah. Just okay. Um, Now it is. Uh, so are you getting my slides? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, just a minute. Okay. Okay. Are you so now did you get slides? Oh, now nothing. Okay. What it is? Okay. Just a minute. Okay. Okay. So let me continue. Okay. So um, yeah. So this is what we have to come back to our picture. So this is what I told you that this is what the queuing inventory system, and yes, and an inventory is attached with it. So here this replenishment order, when it comes, actually we are following an SQ policy. That means little s. SQ means the little s is the ordered by that s, small s and q. So this is actually when it reaches, small s is the reorder level and capital Q is your reorder quantity. So whenever that inventory reaches little s, and you have to order up to Q. So so that is what the from so if it is 0, if your level inventory level is 0, then you have to accumulate the reorder quantity up to Q, and vice versa. Your Q is nothing but a capital S minus little s. Your capital S is your maximum inventory. So that and all we will go further. So here So in this queuing inventory, what happens is that here in this queue, what I am going to consider is that these customers who consider joining a queue or who are already waiting may face various type of dilemmas. One is, so and furthermore, so I told you that we were assumed that if there is no inventory, we will not allow any customers into the system. So what they will do, they will be called as lost sales. If there is no inventory, then they will not allow to the system. So we will call lost sales. So and then if it is inventory, the customer will be entered into the system. And here after joining this customer, so they are having that two type of dilemmas. One is whether to join the queue or not to join. And after joining the queue and after reaching here, after the discussion with the server, he will think about whether he will decide whether to purchase the item or not. So this is what, see, in the classical MM1 queue, it is not considered into that. So they will in this model, so they are whatever the papers we are having that up to 2018. So all the papers which are more concentrating into the welfare of the system and the optimization of the inventory, etc. But we need to, in this paper, in this talk, what we are going to discuss about is that we wanted to think about the welfare of the each customer. Here, each customers are homogeneous, and of course these customers are actually, so they are selfish, and hence each customer, they want to maximize their utility without minding the externalities that their um, moves to impose on the others. So so this is what actually, so here each customer want their own want to increase or want to maximize their own utility. So each customer will be with the same thinking, and each customer which are selfish. So so that means one game should be yeah, started actually. So this is what I am going to consider here. So and after that, so let me go for the next slide. So this is what, so after joining this customer, so he will think about whether, yeah, okay, okay, then it's okay. No, no,